Hi friends, this is Dr. Saurabh Kamath from Goa. COVID-19 pandemic has caused a pandemonium around the globe, and I hope you guys are keeping yourself safe by staying at home. We all know that guided bone regeneration is an extremely important procedure in alveolar ridge augmentation, either with implant placement or as a two-stage procedure. Within guided bone regeneration, membrane stabilization is an extremely important step, and there are various techniques that have been given for membrane stabilization. In the 15-minute presentation, I'm going to speak about a novel technique for membrane stabilization in horizontal guided bone regeneration called SOFRA technique, which is an improvement over Professor Dr. Istvan Urban's periosteal vertical mattress suturing technique.
Stabilization of the membrane and graft is extremely important and crucial for successful guided bone regeneration. Membrane fixation in guided bone regeneration has been traditionally achieved using resorbable pins, titanium tacks, or mini screws. This has given us repeatable and clinically predictable outcomes. However, these techniques are marred with a number of clinical challenges. Use of titanium tacks is fraught with the risk of damage to the adjacent tooth roots and vital structures like inferior alveolar nerve and maxillary sinus. Furthermore, the placement of titanium tacks itself is discomforting to the patient, and there exists a possibility of bending or breaking of the tip in the cortical bone, and also requires a second stage surgery for their removal. They also add to the cost of the surgery, and their loosening may lead to infection jeopardizing guided bone regeneration. So we developed something called SOFRA technique, which is a novel technique for membrane stabilization in guided bone regeneration using resorbable sutures, which can be thought of as a viable alternative to the titanium tacks or screws and other membrane stabilization techniques. Once the full thickness mucoperiosteal flap is raised, a periosteal releasing incision is given after the placement of the implants. Now, this periosteal releasing incision divides the buccal flap internally into a coronal periosteum, apical periosteum, and connective tissue. This is what the surgical picture looks like. So now we have divided the buccal flap internally into apical periosteum, connective tissue, and coronal periosteum. So now what do we do? Now after the placement of the implants and periosteal releasing incision, we introduce the membrane between the apical periosteum and the recipient site. Blunt dissection is accomplished posterior to the apical periosteum to separate the periosteum from the connective tissue, and a pocket is developed. Now, BioGuide membrane, which is a bilayer resorbable membrane, is introduced anterior to the pocket and sutured to the apical periosteum using horizontal mattress sutures, as have been shown in the frontal picture and the cross-sectional schematic diagram, making certain that the knot is tied towards the connective tissue. When the procedure is performed in such a way, the periosteum is seen to overlap the membrane, thereby preventing apical extrusion of the graft. Now, for this entire suturing procedure, the suture that we use is 40 or 50 Vicryl suture with a reverse cutting needle and 3/8 circle needle. So, first procedure is to introduce the membrane and suture it to the apical periosteum. Once this is done, we do decortication and then place a layered composite graft of autogenous scrapes anorganic bovine bone, that is the bio-os, and injectable platelet-rich fibrin. The membrane is then carried over the grafted area and tucked underneath the palatal or the lingual flap as apically as possible, and sutured using horizontal mattress sutures, as you can see here. while making certain that the knot is placed over the palatal or the lingual mucosa. Now, lastly, two horizontal mattress sutures are placed bilaterally over the lateral extent of the membrane with knots over the palatal or the lingual mucosa. The suture is passed first through the palatal flap, then apically through the coronal portion of the connective tissue, and then continued through the palatal mucosa to complete the knot. This secures the membrane and prevents lateral displacement of the graft. These sutures also aid in fortifying the base of the labial flap, thus further decreasing the tension in the flap. Once this is over, the final clinical picture looks something like this. After this, a tension-free closure is achieved using horizontal mattress sutures over the crestal part of the flap and interrupted sutures over the everted margins of the flap, and vertical releasing incisions are also sutured with normal interrupted sutures. Now let us have a look at the SOFRA technique in 3D animation using the Geislich BioGuide and BioOS. SOFRA technique for guided bone regeneration can be used in anterior mandible, posterior mandible, anterior maxilla, as well as posterior maxilla. The only disadvantage that we find here in this technique in posterior maxilla is the herniation of buccal pad of fat. But in our opinion, it does not just increase, it does not jeopardize the entire guided bone regeneration procedure, but it just increases the duration of the procedure marginally due to the need of additional isolation. But if you have given the incision carefully, then the possibility of herniation of fat is also much lesser. The advantage that the BioGuide membrane gives us is the stretchability. Now, as you can see in the left side picture, we have given a periosteal releasing incision which has divided the buccal flap into apical periosteum, connective tissue, and coronal periosteum. The membrane has been sutured to the apical periosteum, and as you have seen in the video, it stretches and encompasses the entire grafted site, and then you can suture it to the palatal flap. Now, once this flap, once the membrane has been sutured to the palatal flap, the extra advantage that the BioGuide membrane, because of its stretchability, offers is this. You can actually tuck in extra graft from the lateral side and bulk up the entire buccal area. Now, because of this, you get extra bulk. You can add, even if while tucking the membrane palatally if you have not tucked in the graft to the extent which you wanted to, that you can fulfill the buccal contour can be raised with the help of lateral grafting. And after this you can give those lateral suspended external internal mattress sutures, which will prevent the lateral migration of the graft or lateral displacement of the graft, and then you can achieve the palatal tension free closure palatally. Our technique was validated with the help of cone beam CT scan images also, and you can see it can be used in various areas: anterior maxilla, posterior maxilla, anterior mandible, posterior mandible, and it does not allow apicocoronal migration or lateral migration of the graft. Now, as we know that a good hard tissue foundation will give you a good soft tissue architecture, and this is what happens in SOFRA technique. So once you have achieved a good hard tissue augmentation, the soft tissue just follows. So just to sum it up, SOFRA technique does not cause any kind of discomfort as caused by the titanium tags. It is fully resorbable material. So the suture as well as the membrane is completely resorbable. So you don't require a second stage surgery for removal as in the case of titanium tags. There is no damage to the adjacent teeth or inferior alveolar nerve. There are multiple checkpoints as opposed to the continuous periosteal strapping suture technique, because the CPSS technique is based on a single knot. If that knot loosens, then the entire area where the GBR has been done can be compromised. But as far as SOFRA technique is concerned, there are multiple checkpoints, like the membrane is secured at the base with the to the apical periosteum, palatally to the palatal flap, and then you have got the lateral sutures also to stop the lateral migration of the graft. So there are multiple checkpoints in SOFRA technique. Now this technique can be used in multiple implant cases also, as opposed to the periosteal vertical matrices suturing technique that was given by Istvan Urban, because he advocated it for only single implant cases. Now we make use of the periosteal releasing incision to the maximum. We use it for stabilization and for prevention, stabilization of the membrane, prevention of the lateral migration of the graft, as well as for tension-free closure. So the palatal flap or to connective tissue sutures serve dual purpose. That is, one is the tension-free closure, and secondly, it avoids the lateral migration of the graft. This entire SOFRA technique maintains the vestibular depth, and there is no apicocoronal or lateral migration of the graft. The only disadvantages that we feel with this technique are it is extremely technique sensitive, and secondly, it is time consuming in posterior areas, especially if there is fat herniation, as we have already discussed. This technique has been published in the Journal of Oral Implantology, which is the official publication of American Association of Implant Dentistry, in 2020. If you want to see the surgical work related to implant dentistry, which we do, you can follow our YouTube channel, Southern Edge Education, where we post the cases which our team performs. So the team consisting of myself with Dr. Senthil Murthy and Dr. Ashwin Mysore. You can also mail us your queries on southernedgeeducation@gmail.com or kamat.saurabh@gmail.com. Thank you.